Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel and welcome to today's video where we are going to talk about all the characters in Galaxy of Heroes and rank them from best to worst. One of my favorite video series, and I gotta thank you guys so much for that continuing support you give to this series. Last time I got 4.4 thousand likes and over 125,000 views. I'm so glad you find this helpful, and I think today you're gonna find this series even more helpful because one, we did a complete graphical overhaul on the table so it looks very pretty, and I'll make sure you guys get a copy at the end of the video. And secondly, one of my problems with this ranking table is that the table couldn't quite separate how good a character was in a certain squad because some characters are amazing in a squad, but by themselves they're not too good. So we implemented a new mechanic where you can differentiate a standalone viability of a character and understand how much better they get when you put them in a certain squad, because Galaxy of Heroes, more than ever, squad synergy is dominating the game, but not everyone can build all these squads. So I want to make sure, especially new people, you understand how good a character is before you farm them, and you understand their potential when you bump them up into the squad they're designed to be with. So let's talk about the Grand Master category. This is the tippity top, baby. These are where the gods and the titans battle it out for power. This is where you're also going to find some of the best standalone characters that you can just plug into a pretty much any type of squad, and you're going to get some sort of use out of them. For example, C-3PO and Chewbacca and Thrawn, you can plug them in almost any team. C-3PO is more contained to light side factions, but the point is you put them in a team, and the team just drastically changes. C-3PO works in pretty much any type of light side faction. Rebels, Ewoks, Galactic Republic, the list goes on and on. Thrawn, he's probably the ultimate plug and play character. Of course, he works a little bit better in Empire, but because of his fracture capabilities, turn meter swapping, as well as other things like giving protection and the fracture just keeping people locked down, he's got a toolkit that works no matter what. And then of course you got characters like Grandmaster Yoda, Commander Luke, General Kenobi, Han Solo. Their overall kit, there's just so powerful, and their kits have stood the test of time, and they, especially for new people just getting these characters, you can plug them in to a variety of squads and you're going to get so much. And even the raids, these characters are so important for the raids, especially CLS and Han Solo. They're so critical for almost every single raid we have in the game. And of course we have the Revans battling out Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan. Their standalone viability is great. You can even use Jedi Knight Revan in a non-Jedi team, but most likely if you get Jedi Knight Revan, you're going to be using him in mostly a Jedi team. Darth Revan, same thing. He excels in Sith Empire. He is the meta right now with his buddy Darth Malak, who is arguably the best character in the game. Darth Malak is a pretty broken character, and he pairs well so nicely with Darth Revan. But as you see here, the Grandmaster category, this is basically what is defining the top end of the meta. This is what you basically see in the meta report. These are the king of kings right here. They work great in standalone situations, but they're amazing as well in their respected squads. Moving on, let's look at the master category. Now this one is kind of interesting, and this is where you're going to start seeing the new changes I want to talk about to the table. As you're going to see, for some characters are going to have they're going to glow a little bit, and there's going to be a respected number next to them, either +1 or +2. And what this means is that by themselves they're sitting in this category, but when you pair them up with certain synergies or you mod them a certain way, for example, they can go up a certain amount of tiers. For example, the prime example of the master category is going to be General Grievous. He is the ultimate gatekeeper between the master and grandmaster category, and he's a great standalone kit. He's got so much damage output. It pretty much works in almost any type of lineup that you work with. But obviously General Grievous is going to excel greatly once you start putting him in a separatist squad, or as we see a lot of these droid nuke team squads, so that way you can knock out characters like Darth Revan and Darth Malak. And when General Grievous is with the separatist team, he absolutely destroys teams like Commander Luke Skywalker and Jedi Knight Revan. So I hope this kind of gives you an idea of how this table is going to work. Standalone viability plus this little +1 next to him, it means that his kit is so good when you pair it up with other characters, it can go up a full entire tier. So he could be technically Grandmaster category. Brings so much joy to my heart, people. And of course you see this in other places. Both of the Bastila Shans in the game, they're great standalone characters. Bastila Shan Fallen works in a ton of Sith teams out there. Bastila Shan, the Jedi version, she can work in a ton of light side teams. Obviously you want her in the Jedi team, for example, but when you pair them up in their respected Revan squads, they can get up to that Grandmaster category because they are so important to making sure the Jedi Knight Revan or the Darth Revan team, it fuels and it keeps pumping out massive amounts of damage. We don't have time to go over every single one of these characters, but these characters are pretty close to being top tier characters. They are so good. They still have kits that standalone can work in so many different squads, like the B2 Super Battle Droid. Yeah, he works great in separatist squads, but he also works in like a Darth Treyas squad. You can use him in so many different places in the game. And I mean, things like Padme Amidala, she's Galactic Republic. Obviously, the +1 means when you tie her up with the Galactic Republic crew, the proper one, she can go up to that next tier in the Grandmaster and beat pretty much every single team that is up there in the top. But if you're using her in just general light side squads, she's still going to be very solid, but not top tier quality. Again, squad synergy is so important, and it takes great characters and makes them amazing. And now we move to the middle of the rung, the Knight category. This is a category where you're going to find, like, let's say you just farm these characters in a standalone kit basis. Their kits are good. They're gonna get you some work out of them, but a lot of these characters have so much potential to become even better when you pair them up in the right squad. So their standalone viability increases drastically when you pair them into the right squad. I mean, as you see at the very top, Karth and Canderous, two older public characters, you're forced to get them for Darth Revan, but by themselves, their kits are just okay, nothing to completely brag about. But when you pair them together, you have the card Zeta, and even if you get Canderous Ordo to gear 12, gear 13, his damage output increases drastically, which takes him out of that Knight category and moves them to the Master category, which is why those two characters have a +1. Darth Vader, standalone kit, it's a decent kit, it's a good kit, you can find some cool things to do with it, but it's not Master quality until he's paired with his own Master, Emperor Palpatine, as we see in the Master category, because once you pair Palpatine and Vader together, all of a sudden Vader is so much faster, he takes so many more turns, he can regenerate so much health. Again, standalone viability is a bit different than squad viability, and that's why we made these changes by adding the numbers next to some characters. Sith Marauder and Sith Trooper are other examples. They have decent kits by themselves if you can't put them in their respected lineups right away, but when you add them to the right teams, like for example Darth Revan, characters like Sith Marauder or Sith Trooper, they increase drastically in viability, and they can go up like 2 tiers. So technically, Sith Marauder, when paired with Darth Revan and Darth Malak, and they have their gear 13, Sith Marauder is almost a god tier character, and he can do massive amounts of damage with his special ability. Now we get into the Padawan category. These characters, most of them are falling a bit beyond the times. Their kits are becoming outdated, or they are just so specific to a certain squad that you're not going to get too much out of them unless you put them into the ideal lineup. And the one character that really highlights, or actually 2 characters that really highlights what I mean here, the B1 Battle Droid and T3M4. By themselves, you're not going to get too much out of them, but once you find the right home for them, aka General Grievous, the B2 Super Battle Droid becomes a critical engine to the Separatist lineup to keep making sure health and protections regenerating and constant attacks out of turn. The B2 Super Battle Droid is a master level character once you put him in a Separatist lineup. T3M4, not a really good droid, but once you slap on the Zeta with him, he revitalized a droid faction to where they can put up massive amounts of damage, and T3M4 is the reason why General Grievous can be a pretty good soft counter to Darth Malak. Night Sister Zombie, another fantastic example. Her kit is just okay, but once she's added to the Night Sister crew, all of a sudden all those Night Sister synergies, they are boiling up and being utilized, and she can keep reviving herself, she can keep reviving other Night Sisters. But outside of a Night Sister crew, you put Night Sister Zombie, let's say in an Empire lineup, she's not gonna do all that much because she can't revive. And now lastly, we get to the unfortunate bottom of the barrel, and that is gonna be the Youngling category. These kits by themselves, a lot of them aren't too good. You're not going to get a lot of use out of them, but fortunately, some characters get a nice big bump to their viability, or at least a somewhat of a decent bump when paired with the right crew. And right here, really the big thing to point out is going to be your Clone Troopers. Clone Troopers are not a good team, but with the release of Shock T, it gets so much better. Clone Troopers, Clone Sergeant, he can bump up to 2 tiers into the Knight category once he's paired up with Shock T. Without Shock T, the Clone Trooper Sergeant, not that hot. And same thing with Fives and Echo. They get a minor bump when you pair them up with Shock T, where they become a bit more useful, but still, they need a lot of work, and that is why, as we got confirmation of, they're going to be getting 5.0 first rework, so I suspect the next time we make this video, the clones are probably going to be a lot higher on the list. And unfortunately, the one thing I'm hoping that does change in this list, Mace Windu in the Youngling category. My goodness, he has been in the Youngling category for years at this point, and I'm hoping the next time I make this video, probably around December or something like that, Mace Windu finds his way out and hopefully gets into at least the Master category. We're hoping for a Mace Windu rework sometime in these next few months, but his kit is just so bad. Even if you try to put him in a Jedi squad, man, there are just so many other better ways to make a better Jedi team. Mace Windu's kit is just so old and outdated and really has never really seen the light of day ever in this game. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your August 2019 all characters ranked in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I really do hope this helps you understand the character standalone viability and how much better they can become once you toss them into the right squad. Let me know down below, what are your thoughts on this? Did this help you a bit more understand how characters are ranked in the game? I really hope this is a great resource for beginner players. And if you're looking for more of a guide, I have a lot of other guides out there in terms of how, like, what characters you should be farming. And mainly it's going to be chasing after the legendary and journey characters. Card in the top right hand corner to check it out. And if you want a copy of my table, there's a link down below so you can download an image, share it with your friends who are just starting in Galaxy of Heroes. This should be a very helpful guide so they understand what's good and what's bad, because you don't want to be farming the bad things in the game. Like the video if you did enjoy, comment down below on your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And I'll talk to all of you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everyone.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down, down.